Okay, so who has the better wig? Vondie Curtis Hall or Sam Jackson?
Vondie Curtis Hall. Knockout. Vondie Curtis Hall. 1-2 punch with that wig. One whip that way, one whip that way.
Hey, welcome to Black Film School, where we talk about Hollywood classics and then offer up lesser-known films for the canon. This episode, we're going to be discussing M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense from 1999 and Kasi Lemmons' Eve's Bayou from 1997. So if you have not seen The Sixth Sense or Eve's Bayou, stop right now, because we will be discussing spoilers.
So The Sixth Sense is a 1999 supernatural thriller horror film written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and it stars Bruce Willis as a child psychologist whose patient, played by little Haley Joel Osment, can commune with the dead.
I want to tell you my secret now. Okay. I see dead people.
One thing that I really applaud M. Night Shyamalan for doing well is making me forget about the fact that the Bruce Willis character was shot in the beginning of the movie. Because, spoiler, when we find out Bruce Willis's character is in fact dead, it was a great moment for me because I never was clued in, you know what I mean? And I read that at one point execs were kind of nervous that we were going to be giving that away really early in that scene, especially in the shot where we're pushing in on his face when he says, "I see dead people," that we were going to be giving a hint to the audience that he is in fact one of those dead people.
I thought you meant the other Italian restaurant I asked you to marry me in.
What I think is really fascinating about the film is that no one except Haley Joel Osment speaks directly to Bruce Willis after he's shot, but Bruce Willis is constantly in rooms with people like Toni Collette and the actress who plays his ex-wife, and they're not talking to him and they don't seem aware of them, but they're also incredibly sad characters, so one could infer that they just don't have a lot to say in general or don't really want to say more words than necessary.
That's the saddest thing about the movie is what is your base relationship with your wife and with people in general, and the way you communicate have to be that you could literally be dead and you wouldn't notice any other changes. If people weren't answering my questions, everyone would know that I need to know the answer to my questions.
Grandma says hi. She wanted me to tell you.
Oh, please
She wanted me to tell you she saw you dance. She said when you were little, you and her had a fight right before your dance recital. You thought she didn't come to see you dance. She did.
Yeah, that's the best scene in the movie.
Damn you, M. Night Shyamalan!
It's the best possible way for a scene like that. There are so many ways that you could play it, when you're telling your mom that you can speak to dead people. There's so many ways that can go. And M. Night really chose, the most tender way to go about that revelation.
Sometimes when you're watching really emotionally depthy scenes with an adult actor and a child actor, the adult's kind of the one cementing the performances, but here it's really equitable in a really impressive way, and they're on the same level in this scene, and it's kind of mind-blowing how real it feels and how real it's been written.
Also, one of the things that I really love in a performance is the ability to hold a strong performance when you're not speaking, but when you're listening. And Toni Collette, she's just listening to this story. And Shyamalan has the discipline to just stay on her and to not cut to who's talking. And that's what I think the strength of this scene is.
So if you like moody, supernatural films with amazing child performances, then you'll probably love 1997's Eve's Bayou, directed by Kasi Lemmons.
Eve's Bayou is the debut feature film of Kasi Lemmons and follows a 10-year-old girl named Eve Baptiste as she moves throughout her life with her father and family in the bayous of Louisiana. And we soon learn that she has this ability to foresee things that happen in the future.
Empty it. You in pain, my daughter? Yes. There is an end to your problem, though not one you imagined. Look to your children. Dala.
It's always been refreshing to come back to Eve's Bayou to see how Casey deals with voodoo and spiritual healing. A lot of movies use voodoo and spiritual healing as a device, as a horror device. And usually those who are engaging in the practice are antagonists and they're horrific. And it's like, actually, this is a practice that has been celebrated and should continue to be celebrated, that's brought from the motherland. And so it's refreshing to see it depicted in such a beautiful way.
Cicely! Oh, God! Oh, thank God. You almost gave your mama a heart attack, Cher. Where the hell did you go?
I went to visit Daddy. Then I went to the beauty parlor. I walked all the way to Daddy's office, and then I caught the bus to Opal's. And I'm alive, Mama.
It's really unspoken that she's clearly trying to be her mom. I think it's because Cicely is so isolated that she doesn't really know how to deal with her puberty in a way outside of her family. She never meets any boys or anything. It's just so much is concentrated at home that her concept of womanhood is concentrated entirely by her family.
You lied to me about Daddy. You lied! Daddy wrote Moselle a letter. You lied! I wasn't lying. I believed you. I hated him for you.
So Eve has read a letter that her father wrote to his sister Moselle about the night of the storm and the kiss between him and his daughter Cicely. And at this point in the film, Eve had spent so much time hating her dad, because the story that Cicely tells her is that their dad made an advance on her, but the truth is that Cicely made the move on her dad. So the scene is her and Eve trying to figure out what happened, trying to understand what happened, and you can tell that Cicely doesn't even really understand what happened. So when Eve touches her, with her powers, for lack of a better term, she feels the moment. She's able to see it in her memory, what happened. And they are quietly unpacking it.
And I still think I'm still unpacking it. I still don't know what to truly feel about it. I think that's the strength of it. Because after this moment, they actually take this letter that was written and they sink it in the lake, and then we pull back and it ends there. But we know that's just kind of the beginning of a new trauma that these two young girls are going to have to deal with and unpack.
So much of Southern Gothic work is about the way that past trauma affects the present family. And so I think that the kind of the fucked upness of these ancestral feelings is tied up in this idea of generational hurt.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I feel like that's one of the many strengths of this film. It's like real life. You have to sit with the complexities and contradictions, and there's no easy way out. There's no bow tie telling you this happened for this reason and this is what's going to happen because of that. It's a very contemplative internal mode of filmmaking that I really enjoy.
I think Cole from The Sixth Sense and Eve from Eve's Bayou are both really trying to come to terms with this gift that they have. It's almost like it's growing with them, and they're discovering it in the same way they're trying to discover themselves. And this is an added thing that they have to contend with. And the thing that works for both The Sixth Sense and Eve's Bayou is that the way the worlds are built, it doesn't really seem abnormal, that they have these things that they're trying to make sense of. And Eve has Moselle and Cole has the Bruce Willis character to really kind of help them through what they are experiencing.
A major difference between Eve and Eve's Bayou and Cole in The Sixth Sense is that there is this sense that Eve is going to be all right. Eve is functioning in a more like safe space, so it allows her to be more of a child. Whereas in The Sixth Sense, Cole has like a sense of melancholy that's never really going to go away. And for that reason, I think that the performance that Haley Joel Osment is giving is a much sadder one. Does Eve's Bayou belong in the canon? Sarah Ty.
Absolutely. I think it is a quintessential film when we're talking just about coming of age, and it becomes even more quintessential when we're talking about Black girlhood on screen, especially if we're talking more specifically about Southern Black girlhood.
Absolutely agree. This film belongs in the canon. It's a beautiful Southern movie that deals with Southern culture in a very authentic way. Also, I know this is Casey's debut feature film. It's just like written from the heart, fought to get it made, fought to retain control. We often celebrate the filmmakers who, kind of make movies with no money, you know what I mean, and they're hits. This movie is also a hit that was made within the studio system, but her voice is still all up in it, you know what I mean, which is a win. And as a result, it sits on the DVD and VHS shelves of every Black family in America. So, put that thing in the canon, please.
Thank you for watching Black Film School. Tune in next time where we will continue to interrogate the canon and suggest new films that you absolutely need to check out.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the Netflix Film Club channel to get our latest exclusive videos. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.